Thanks for joining us here on WTOC Plus. President Jermaine Worrell is delivering his first State of the University address at Savannah State University. We're going to take this live. We are joining it in progress, so we do apologize, but we are going to carry the rest of his remarks here in its entirety. This is President Worrell's first State of the University address at Savannah State. So here it is live from the Student Union Ballroom.
Bottom left-hand corner, celebrating service. We had folks that served from 30 years all the way down to 5 here at Savannah State. Retention of employees is incredibly important because they have that knowledge and they understand the culture, so we are able to celebrate them. And then our SGA president, who's also in the room, you're not to put you on the spot, sir. Stand up, Zaylen. He represents our student Bobby. Incredible young man, phenomenal story. Got to meet him. He was actually born on this campus. Okay, legitimately born on the campus. I have to tell a story, man. It's a great story. So he's Savannah State through and through. He kicked off our Faculty and Staff Institute and is doing an incredible job as our SGA president. I appreciate your leadership, sir. So keep going here. August was a very fun, busy time for me. This is my first 7 months. So I'm giving you some experiences here. We had 811 new students roll in the door in August. Okay, 811. I looked busy, but I wasn't busy in that movement day picture. I promise you, they wouldn't let me move any boxes. But a great day to celebrate them and their families. They're excited to be here. Extremely excited, and that's what we want to continue to do. We want to continue to build larger freshman classes. People want to come here, and one of the challenges that we will have is we're going to have to get this housing thing fixed quick. We could have taken in more students, but we did not want to put them in hotels. We did not want to put them off campus. We got to grow that opportunity, and again, that's why it's so important for us. And then again, we talked about Bostic. That name really resonated from everybody. Every alumni was calling and asking what we were going to do when the old Bostic Hall was torn down. And so to be able to rename our Tiger Court Bostic Hall was a significant day here at Savannah State, and very honored to do that. So Bostic Hall lives on. Now, I talked about the delegation. I had to put them on, the slide here. These individuals, plus those who were not here, were very, very important to us. I wanted you just to see a few images of the building I was talking about. This is just one of the buildings, the Wilcox Valley facility. But when you get into the meat of the infrastructure, this is what I was talking about. Okay, these are facilities that they're not in a position to be recalibrated, to be saved, to be renovated. They're beyond the livelihood of what we need. And so again, this is kind of where we are today on this project. You can see we got the 6.5. We're asking for 48.6. To build this out, and this will be the largest cap project in Savannah State's history by the time it's all done. This is about $59 million, all in total. So significant for us, but again, you can kind of see the transformation. We do have, of course, other projects lined up. I would say our library is going to be right on that list. Our library is incredibly important. Because as we talk about moving into more research, we're going to have to ensure that our collection, our library access is going to be able to get us to R3 levels. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as well. For our folks in-house, we've been talking about this, but this is important. One of the things coming in on campus back in April, I noticed that we had mixtures of our student support and business offices kind of in different buildings. And for our students, they have to toggle between building to building to get different services. And so we are flexing this as we speak. We don't have a hard deadline, but it will be done by August of next year for our students. That the Colston building and Hill Hall, which are next to each other, but we're going to be moving this, that all of the student-facing services will be in Colston, all of them. So students will be able to get admissions, enrollment, financial aid, advising, paper classes, all that in one location to make it easy. And of course, they can get transcripts, the registrar information, and then all of the HR function, the business function, finance function will come into Hill Hall. We also need that just for security of those personnel. So this will be a big transition, but more importantly, this building here, Colston, will actually look like a student-friendly building. Okay, so we're going to spruce it up. And I know those of you who are terrified of that elevator, we're going to fix the elevator, okay? I'm the first to say I'm terrified of it too. Okay? There's actually on call to get that replaced now. But this is a future transition that is in motion. Now, you're also asking, well, what about the other things? Here's the list. So I'm a very transparent person. We got $1.2 million from the state. We have to tell the state every year what we're going to do with the money. This is what we call MRR, Major Renovations and Repairs. 1.2, by the way, does not go very far. Not today's money. It's not a lot of money. We can get one boiler that goes out, that can be $500,000 for one boiler. So this is what we're working through. These are lists of our current projects that the facilities team is going to institute this fiscal year. Covers a lot of different things. Talk about two projects in particular that are extremely important that we're working on. Obviously, number one, stormwater. Big deal here. Okay, we have multiple pockets of flooding. We've fixed one, which is the main thoroughfare. Those of you who came off the Roach probably noticed a nice paved road right there, a new sidewalk. That was about a $750,000 investment for stormwater. That this really has benefited us because that area is not flooding out like it used to. So again, we have other pockets that we will continue to invest in, especially around student housing, so we don't have incidents like we've had in prior years. The other one is security, safety and security. Every year, I will tell you, we will invest in safety and security every year. We're going to update that all the time. One of the big things that we have finished is our fencing. So we have new gates on Jasmine and Falligant. Those are done this summer. And then really the main entrance where you drive in, where you get checked, that project to build a new, we call it Welcome Center, gatehouse, that will be starting in December. The design work, we'll have a kickoff meeting next week to begin that discussion and getting that underway to make it much easier to enter and access the campus. For our current students, again, current students and employees, you'll be able to go right and have access either through pass or your ID card, and then all visitors will still come through that left lane. And so right now we're going to be in the design phase, again, getting that project started here in December in earnest. We're a little delayed because the stormwater project took longer than expected, so it kicked back this project, but that one is important to me because we want to ensure we know who is and who is not on this campus at all times. Okay, highly important. Behind it, once that is done, our camera systems will be installed. We have cameras here now, but more camera systems that we can see everything around the clock. And so again, a lot of emphasis on that campus perimeter and fencing. And for the most part, our campus is very secure. I also want to mention two other things related to campus safety. We know we're in a flood zone. We know we have hurricanes and all of these things that come up. So when I got here, I said, we need to have generators ASAP. So the generator truck just pulled up this week, was it, Sam? New generators, emergency generators ready to go for our buildings. We didn't have for every building. And of course, if power goes out, we don't want students to be smeltering. And we've had that issue happen one time when we had 2 transformers blow out. So we are, again, staffing up. But the other big part of that is we have also made an offer for a new emergency management director for Savannah State. Extremely important position that we now have. So again, being thoughtful about this is extremely important, not just the physical investment, but also the people investment as well. So let's talk about money. You all like money? Let's talk about money for a little bit. The money's been rolling in, and I will tell you, we've been restarting our advancement office. Mr. Scott, you want to raise your hand so they see you? So if your wallet feels light, you can come talk to him or me. We take Venmo, Cash App, it don't matter. But we've been doing a great job collectively raising funds for Savannah State. So I want to share that story because I think people don't know what's happening with advancement. I'm going to give you just a few highlights from the last 2 fiscal years. So I'm going to start on the left-hand side and just tell you where we were 2023 to 2024. And here is the synopsis, okay? In that fiscal year, we raised a little under $2.7 million. Not bad. 1,200 donors, average gift, 2,200. That's where we were, okay? Mr. Scott came in, we started hiring some individuals. We do, by the way, just as a shameless plug, we do have 2 staff positions open right now for anybody interested, okay, helping us raise money. But with the limited staff that we had this year, right under $4 million. Okay? That is a 43% increase. Okay, significant. But here's the bigger opportunity for us. And we do have 3 gifts that will be announced in the next 2 weeks. So we just got to wait. I can't give you any more information than that. But really the opportunity is growing the bottom piece here, which is our endowment. So this is Savannah State's endowment as of September 30th this year. I want you to know what the number is. Okay, it's important. 16 million is our endowment. We got to double, triple that number. That's what I'm focused on right here. Okay, and we have the opportunity to do that. But it's going to take the collective us to do that, and it's really about telling that story, positioning ourselves. And so, if you know anybody who is interested in giving, let us know, and we'll be glad to tell them the story of Savannah State. Okay, but this is, again, for a 1 year, this is pretty significant. This is not normal in foundation giving. And by the way, we're already up where we were from the prior year last year this same time right now. So we want to beyond blow this out in a few weeks. By the time you get the announcements, okay? So talking about some other money. You all know the federal government, right now we have a shutdown. We have a lot of uncertainty around federal funding. I will tell you, Title IV, for the most part, is fine. No changes to federal financial aid. None of that's been touched. But in terms of grants, there was a lot of uncertainty about, are we going to get the grants? Are they not going to be reoccurred? 2 very, very extremely important grants, in particular for Savannah State, our Title III, and then, of course, our TRIO Upward Bound. Extremely important grants because they provide a lot of access, support. They fund projects, capital. They also fund employees. And so we were on pins and needles the last 3 weeks, honestly, waiting for a response. I do want to give credit to all of our federal delegation members. We called, wrote letters. They came, made visits, advocated. And even with all of that, we still didn't really know what was going to happen until September 29th. And this happened. So we got our Title III money, $4.5 million, actually 1% more than what we actually asked for. And then the next day, Dr. Andrews sent me this is small email. I mean, it was just so, like just a regular email. And said, oh, $1 million in the bank. And I said, what? So we were happy to receive the money. And I said, pull it down now. But more importantly, our TRIO program also was awarded $1.9 million to keep TRIO going. Again, we know that there's a lot of uncertainty in D.C., so we're very, very thankful, again, our delegation and others around the state, our senators, everybody's been involved to ensure that these 2 in particular got protected, and we got a little bit more than what we're asking for. The future is to be determined, but I wanted you all to know, because we had a lot of people ask, Dr. Burrow, what's going on with your grants? I'm like, we don't know yet, and we just found out this a few days ago, and we will use every bit of this money for our students and programs. So, some other things you need to know. As we talk about research, and we talked about our goal to be an R3 institution, one of the things I wanted to make public was we do have a lot of research money that's active at Savannah State. You can kind of see this is from our Office of Sponsored Research led by Dr. Pride. You can see number of PIs, number of grants. Again, we have some grants right now that are on the chopping block, and we will wait for DOD, DOE to give us some type of language. Some have been paused, so we're working through that. But you can see roughly about $28 million is in the research portfolio. That's pretty good for our size institution. That's not bad at all. But more importantly, when you talk about what does that research really mean? Well, it's not only research that's helping our folks do publications, but it's also helping the local economy. We're doing research with our peers, our counties, our cities, support the infrastructure here in Savannah. And more importantly, my mic went up. All right, there we go. But more importantly, we also ensured that research opportunities for undergraduate students were made available. It's very, very important that our four-year and our grad students begin research, okay? And so we restarted our research conference for students. And you can see here, it was paused during COVID, but last year, this year alone, we had a big increase. 43% of our students are doing research. That's a great thing. And again, that number will continue to grow as we move forward with our research agenda. Hopefully you've seen this headline. Every year, the Board of Regents puts out a call for economic impact. I can go old school if it helps. Economic impact, this number this year was 164 million, actually 9.3% increase. That's money that flows from Savannah State through the region. Okay, that's spent in our regional economy, that's spent on employee salaries. That's a big number. And again, that's up 9.3%. So again, when we talk about Savannah State's impact in this region, this is a number I want you all to call out. Somebody asks you, well, why is Savannah State significant? Because of this. Okay, it's a massive, massive increase, and that number will continue to go up every year, at least as long as I'm president. The other question I get all the time is hiring. So you all know the story. A few years ago, we had some unfortunate risks. We were right-sided by the Board of Regents because of the enrollment decline. But we stopped risks. As a matter of fact, we are hiring a lot. This last fall, we brought in about 13 new faculty members. And right now, we have 25 active positions either advertised or being interviewed for as we speak. That's significant. If you look at our FTE count here, 382 full-time, we got to build that if we're going to provide that service. And more importantly, we have some departments that need more faculty. And so I'm very, very excited that we're moving in the right direction and also getting support from the system office to get more faculty and staff hired at Savannah State. So if you're interested, I would ask you to go check out our website and apply for a job that you might be qualified for. Specifically, if you are in law enforcement, policing, we would love to talk to you. We want to definitely get that department, again, staffed up as much as possible. But I always want to talk about the workforce piece, and every year we'll talk about how we're growing our employee body. All right, so went through all that. So let me go back to the Upward Plan of 2030. So I've talked about it, and this was just a couple of images of what we've done. This is an image here of Dr. Tony Robinson, who was our facilitator that drove this plan. He did an incredible job. I've been working with Tony for over 6 years now. This is the first time he's ever had a standing ovation. So I appreciate all of you that were in the room that day. He really appreciated that. But again, I want to talk about the vision statements. Let me drive right into it. So this is our new vision statement. I'm going to read it because I think it's important to read. This is who Savannah State will be in the future. Okay? It says Savannah State University will be a nationally recognized public university known for student success and regional impact where research, innovation, and industry-embedded learning fuel student growth and economic development. Okay? That is the future of Savannah State. That is the vision statement that we collectively wrote. I want to break this down for a few minutes. So it's important to me that words have meaning and you can actually measure what you put down. So we talk about national recognition. We can measure that. That's called the U.S. News World Report. Every year they measure nationally who are the best HBCUs in the country. We're currently ranked 50. Last year we were 51, so we went up by 1. But that was because we didn't do anything uniquely with them to present our case of support. Dr. Lambright, who is our AVP of Research, she now has an account with U.S. News Report. We will be feeding our data and our narratives to them. We'll be inviting them on campus to see Savannah State University. We will no longer be 50th at anything in this country. So that's our national recognition. Student success, that's always about two quick things: recruitment, graduation, placement, technically three. Okay, we want to continue to grow our enrollment, but it's not good if you don't graduate. You have to graduate. Graduation rate is important, and if mom and dad really want them to have a job, really want them to have a job. Matter of fact, they want them to have a job before they graduate. Okay? So that piece, that's what student success means for us. Those are the big three measures I'm going to look for. Are we growing enrollment? Are we graduating? And are we getting good jobs? In field, by the way. Extremely important to us. Regional impact, that's the number I just showed you. That's at 164. We can measure that. We can see what type of regional impact we're going to have. And then really these other buckets are how we actually do that. We do that through research. We talked about the research agenda. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. That's all levels of research, okay? Innovation, I think that's where we're going to be distinctive. We have some colleges, some institutes, some research centers that we're talking about now. We're talking to some partners about standing up some unique things that nobody else in the country has. And that's what's going to make us thrive. People are looking for differentiation. Why come to Savannah and not go to Morehouse? You've got to be able to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. We got a strategy around that. When we start announcing it, you'll understand why we're doing that. When we start announcing the partnerships, that's what's going to make us innovative compared to going to other places. I'm spending a lot of time in that bucket. The third part is the marriage between us and industry. We had a number of industry stakeholders that gave input and say, yeah, what you're doing is great, but if it's not relevant to industry, when they get to me, they're disconnected. And so we want to ensure that we're embedding industry certs, badges, micro-credentials in the curriculum while they're enrolled at Savannah State. Incredibly important. More importantly, if we have that marriage with them, guess what? They're more likely to graduate and stay here in the region. That was the other big part of that. We have to have that marriage between us and industry. I will tell you that, to my knowledge, we're the only institution in the system that has industry embedded in their vision statement. That's very, very unique to Savannah State. And that's what's going to make us grow. More importantly, it's going to help our students. And ultimately, that's going to help the economic development for CETA and others as they're recruiting new companies to come into town. They can say, we got a nationally ranked institution. They got great research going on. Their students are ready to work. And it helps us tell the story of Savannah easier. And ultimately, we all win. Okay? So that's, again, I wanted to walk you through what this vision statement means and how we actually will implement it and how we actually will measure it. So it's not just words. Now, that's vision. Then you have to figure out your playbook. How do you win? How do you win? Because we can do that in a multitude of ways, but there are some things and things that we want to agree to as our value structure. That if you are an employee at Savannah State, you basically will agree to do these things. And these are part of your performance management. We actually will measure, are you living up to the values of the institution? Again, this came out of all of the feedback that we got. So a lot of input. Belonging was the first thing. Again, when you look at Savannah State, we've had a lot of leadership changes. Okay, we've had 11 provosts in 10 years. Okay, 11. Let me just put that fact out there. That is not normal. I was a provost for 4 years, okay? So that is not normal to happen in 10. Okay, we've had, of course, interim presidents. So we wanted to ensure that everybody that worked here, that was connected to Savannah State, felt like they belonged, that they had a voice at the table. That was incredibly important to all of leadership. Collaboration. Silos don't exist, right? They don't exist. They don't exist in government, do they, right? America? No, they don't exist. But for us to reach our ultimate goal.
As we approach the top of the hour here, we do have a quick programming note for our viewers watching on WTOC Plus. The news at noon is set to start on this feed right now, so if you'd like to continue watching this State of the University address, you'll want to change over to the breaking news and weather live stream, the secondary feed on WTOC Plus. For our audience on YouTube, you won't have to change anything. You can continue watching the stream as it is. But again, a quick programming note, the news at noon is set to start here momentarily. So for our WTOC Plus viewers, please switch over to the breaking news and weather live stream, the secondary stream on WTOC Plus.
Really about excellence. That's what they're talking about. How we communicate, how we answer the phone, how we keep our facilities clean, all of those what we call small things, they actually do matter. They matter a lot. So we want to be excellent in everything that we do. And then really resilience kept coming up. Even in the midst of all the challenges that have happened, the student body, the faculty, the staff are extremely resilient, and still working through those challenges. And so I was excited that these were the values that bubbled up, and we will continue to champion that through the strategic plan. So I talked about the priorities already. I want to go and give you the snapshot. So this is where we are. So strategic priority number 1, you'll see on the screen, student success. Cultivating an exceptional student experience that fosters belonging, achievement, and lifelong learning. And what this does, this allows us to ensure that every member of the institution, doesn't matter where you are in the org chart, you can see yourself somewhere in this plan. And so when we talk about annual reviews, biannual reviews, performance management, when we talk about how do we move the needle, this is what we're going to be looking at. These are the tactics that were built around the strategic plan. Again, nothing, hopefully, for our internal users is surprising. It should not be surprising. Most of the stuff we've been talking about, but now we actually have some verbiage around that. Under each one of these, again, we will have 1.1A, 1.1B, et cetera, so that we can delineate that work out. I do want to talk about a couple of them on this one. Of course, number 1.3, seamless technology. I'm very, very excited. This week we'll be signing our contract for our students to get their first mobile app, which is going to be extremely important for our students. I think SGA, they were a part of developing that. So again, our students have been asking for one for a while, and they can get all their information on one app. So the Savannah State app will be coming out. We got to figure out a name for it though, Mr. President, so help me with that. And then more importantly, number 2 really covers a lot of what was said earlier around student support services, and so we're addressing those things. Now, as you go on, again, you can kind of see for employee excellence, I do want to highlight 2.2 for a minute. One of the big things is that we have some incredible programs. Everybody knows about marine biology. I can travel anywhere around the country, they know Savannah State's marine biology program. It's that good, okay? But they may not know we have a data analytics program. I know that for a fact because I've spoken to folks, they're like, oh, you actually have that? Like, yes, you need to send your employees over here, okay? So we got to continue to strengthen the signature programs, but also talk about the new ones. And then continuing education is a big opportunity for us in the Savannah region. There is a big demand. Folks who do not want a degree per se, but they just want to take a CE course to continue learning, lifelong learning. And we're working on that as well as executive programs. Those who are mid-tier to executive level, they're looking for a unique experience. Okay, they don't want to be in a class with 20-year-olds. No offense to them. Okay, but they want to have a different conversation in a different learning environment. So talking about that, how does that look for us is extremely important. And then really the last one down here is about culture. Again, building that culture for Savannah State for us to be able to facilitate these ideas is going to be incredibly important. So 3, I talked about 3 already. That's that storytelling, that's our brand. We are working on this. I will say in the next week, Leandra is somewhere around here. We do have a unique ribbon cutting in downtown that you'll hear about. Homecoming, you'll start seeing all sorts of stuff for homecoming in the next few weeks, digitally, billboards, radio. So again, it's coming. Television commercials we're going to be working on. And we're also working on a new digital strategy. Now, let me mention digital strategy because I always have to warn folks. The digital strategy you probably will not see because you are not the target, okay? We're targeting high school age juniors and seniors. And they're on TikTok, and they're on Twitter, they're on Snapchat. So unless you're on those platforms and you're under 18, you're probably not going to see those ads, okay? So I always have to warn people, I haven't seen anything. It's not for you. We're not trying to recruit you. You've already got a degree. We're trying to get a different audience. So again, just be mindful of that when we talk about marketing because we need to put our money where our strategy needs to go. And we know that that's the audience that we need to engage, and they're on different platforms, and that's where we're going to begin to embark. I talked about the athletic department already, and then philanthropic giving is really doing a great job there. For our givers, we will be launching our first annual report That should be coming out digitally. So those of you who want to see who gave and who did not give, you will be able to see that. It'll be very transparent in how much they gave. Okay? We've been asking for that. So it's coming out. Again, we're catching up on things that we should have been doing for years. But just, again, a quick highlight of that. I talked about the infrastructure stuff already. I think it's important because ultimately, when we talk about student success, it's really about the infrastructure. It's about the buildings. It's about the conditions of the buildings. It's the conditions of the food service, the conditions of parking. All of these key things because they reside on campus. This is their home throughout the year. And so we want to ensure that their home is a nice place to stay. So a lot of work on each one of these. I gave you the blueprint of what we're doing infrastructure-wise this year. But we also have some major capital projects that are underway as well. All right, there we go. The last one is important, and I wanted to, and this was good that this came up. We know that infrastructure is not just physical. There's a lot of cyber attacks on institutions across the country. And we know that we want it to be guarded against that risk management. We also have the risk management of just weather, but really the cyber space is a big, big space that we're going to spend a lot of time and energy and money on so that we can protect our students and employees' data. So again, very, very unique one that we put on there, but we had to address that for future. Last thing here, I talked about this already, relationships with business, industry, government, military, K-12. Again, this is regional, so not just Chatham County, Bryan, Effingham, Liberty County included in that. Here's my alumni. I know it was up here, 5.3 alumni. We haven't forgotten about you. We do have an alumni strategy that we're going to be building out. Mr. Davis, myself, Mr. Scott. That not only just includes the alumni activities you see now, but you're going to see me. I'm going to be in D.C., I'm going to be in Texas, I'm going to be in California. So you just all need to be buttoned up and ready to go. Okay, but really engaging you all, not just in ask for money, but really getting you engaged with our students, mentoring, giving back of your time. We have the best alumni, period, in the country. Okay? Period. I can say that. They travel, they support. They're online and engagement, Instagram, everything. I love it. Keep it going. We need you. We need you even more in future years. So we want to build out some tactics around that. If you have an idea in terms of what you would like to see, please reach out to Mr. Davis or Ms. Scott. And of course, our alumni president, Mr. Washington, as well. We wanted to enhance that relationship as well with our pre-alumni students here on the campus. Last thing, and I want to point this out, it seems like it's a small bullet point, but it's actually a significant one. That's 5.4. Okay, 5.4 talks about strengthening SSU's presence across the region. That's a big one to me, a huge one. Most college towns, you see college stuff all over the town, right? Normally you see that. You see colors, you see banners, you see all that. When I came to Savannah, I was like, where is the orange and blue? Besides on the campus, okay? So we have a goal. I won't say it live right now, but we have a goal. We have a strategy, okay? You will begin to see orange and blue around the city of Savannah. Okay, we are working on that. We have some locations. We have some streets, some corridors that we have identified. Ms. Michael and I sat down yesterday and we started mapping that out. And we're going to start moving forward to putting that plan into action. So that when you're driving down a certain road, you're like, oh, that wasn't there before. I'm like, good. It's there now, okay? But it's important because Savannah State is the city's first university. This is our university. This is our city. This is our town. And I've said multiple times, when you come across that Georgia-South Carolina border, you come on 95, you have entered territory. And I'm very, very serious about that. So we will have more of an enhanced presence across this region. And those of you who have businesses or no business owners, we want to partner with you. We want to have orange and blue somewhere on your business. And also the merchandise. It's one of the things that the alumni was asking about merch. We sat down with Follett last week. We have a strategy. So you'll start seeing merch in the retail stores, different types of merch, not just in Savannah, also in Pooler, Liberty counties as well. We're finding locations to spread that around. But I would say we need you also to purchase it too. So it can't be one way. We're going to put it out there, but if it doesn't get purchased, then it's hard for us to keep it. in the stores, okay? So all of that, and then also our bookstore will be launching its own IG website. So you can get all the cool Savannah State merch via IG coming up soon. We're excited about that because we know folks want to buy merch, and that will be a site that you can see all the latest gear as well from Savannah State. So again, we're going to do everything that we can to ensure that orange and blue is well represented throughout the region and beyond. And when I mean beyond, that means really outside of the Savannah market. So this is what we're working towards. This is the strategic plan for Savannah State. Ultimately, this is the higher level, the what I call presidential pillar that we're trying to achieve. You've heard these before. So following this plan, if we do this plan the way that I believe it will happen, we will achieve these 5 things. Okay? We will be a top 25. We will be a first choice and largest. We will be a doctoral degree granting institution. We will be the anchor of Savannah, and we will increase social and economic mobility for our students. All of those things are very, very feasible following this plan. And so we put the vision there, the values, we have a mission statement, we have a plan, and then we have these presidential pillars, and that's what Savannah State is going to focus on. We've already been working towards this, so it's not like we're starting the plan today. We've already been engaged. I wanted you all to see collectively what your university is doing. And I also want you to think about ways that you can be a part of it. Okay, this is not just for employees and students and alumni only. This is an open invitation to everybody, government, business, civic leaders, churches, anybody that wants to be involved. This is an open invitation for you all to partner with the Savannah State University. So with that, I will say the following. The state of the university is strong. It is very strong. And it's cooking with chicken grease right now. Okay? It is cooking. I can promise you the vibe, the environment, it is very, very strong. A couple of sneak peeks, and then I'm going to end here. I could not mention homecoming. I hope. I knew that was coming. All right, just a few weeks away. We encourage everybody and their cousins, and their cousins, and cousins' to come out for homecoming. The lineup is incredible. You will see me running from event to event, but please come out, especially our parade on Saturday morning downtown in the game at 3 o'clock. So please come out for that. And also, Founders Day. I'm giving a little sneak peek. Founders Day is coming up. Okay, November 13th, we have a phenomenal speaker, one of our own. She is the president of Prairie View A&M in Texas. Graduated from here. And so it's pretty cool to have an alumnus come back. Tanika's excited. Got a chance to talk to her. She's like, yes, I will be there. So leading up to the end of the year, we have a great lineup, homecoming, and then plus Founders Day and then commencement. We have a phenomenal speaker. You got to wait and see who the speaker is this year. But I'm excited. And then lastly, for those who did not remember, next year is investiture time. So these are the dates. They're locked in stone. We'll begin selling gala tickets pretty soon here. We hope to sell it out. Maury said by January. Okay, we'll be back at the Savannah Convention Center on that Saturday evening on the 18th. So you can go ahead and lock those dates in. More importantly, I want to thank each of you for coming in and being a part of this address today. I'm excited. I tell the team, I get up every morning around 5 o'clock. I'm jumping out of the bed to get to work after I talk to my wife and my kids, of course. But there's just so much momentum at this institution. I'm very blessed to be here. And I want to thank all of our special guests. I do want to recognize a few. All of our elected officials. If you're an elected official, would you just please stand up to be recognized? All of our elected officials. Thank you all. We appreciate you and what you do in the partnership and the text messages and phone calls you all provide. If you are a foundation trustee, please stand up. Our foundation trustees. If you are an alumnus of Savannah State, please stand up. And more importantly, if you are a student at Savannah State, please stand up. We appreciate you all for being a part of what we call here the uproar. The uproar is real, you all. Great energy. And I want to thank the entire team that helped put this day together, from Leandria to Miss Lisa to the marketing team to our IT support, everybody that's been a part of the facilities. Thank you all for making this day special. We do have some giveaways. Hopefully you were able to grab one before you came in, but please take something, and I'll be around to answer any questions. And I also want to thank our virtual viewers. Thank you all on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever you're watching platform. Thank you all for zooming in, and let's have a great rest of the year, and I will see you all at homecoming, Founders Day, and or commencement of all three.
Great
have a
job.
great day.